Marking and cutting of standing collar for uniform shirt. As we have constructed the pattern for the standing collar of a uniform shirt, we will now see how to mark and cut the pattern on fabric. At the end of this session, you will be able to mark pattern for standing collar on fabric, cut the pattern for standing collar on fabric. Let's first familiarize with the tools and materials required for marking and cutting pattern on fabric. They are remaining piece of white uniform fabric, pattern square, tailor's chalk, French curve, measuring tape, and shears. Now let's see how to mark the pattern of standing collar on fabric. Take a long leftover fabric piece and measure 6 5/8 inches along the selvage edge and make a mark. From this mark, fold the fabric over and align the selvage edge. From the fold, draw a right angle line close to the cut edge. The point where this line meets the fold is point 1. From point 1, measure 1.5 inches along the fold and make a mark. This is point 0. From point 0, draw a right angle line. Again, starting from point 0, measure 6 5/8 inches and make a mark. This is point 2. Now from point 1, measure 6 5/8 inches and make a mark to get point 3. Connect points 2 and 3 in a straight line. Find the midpoint of 0, 2 and make a mark. This is point 4. Again, mark the midpoint of 1, 3 to get point 5. This will be the same as the previous measurement. From point 3, measure 1/2 inch upwards and make a mark. This is point 6. Again from point 2, measure 1/2 inch upwards and make a mark. This is point 7. Now using a French curve, start shaping from point 6 to point 5 in a soft curve, and also shape from point 7 to point 4 in a soft curve. Now starting in a right angle, start shaping from point 6, joining the curve 7, 4 using a French curve. Thus we have completed marking of the standing collar for the uniform shirt. Now we can cut the standing collar along the drafted lines. Snip a little corner off at both sides of the fold. We need to copy this pattern of the standing collar 2 more times to have a total of 3 pieces. The third piece is to strengthen the standing collar, which can also be achieved by using fusible interfacing. For this, place the fold of the collar over the fold. Make sure the fold and the cut edge are at a right angle. Then cut along the edges and snip a little corner off at both sides of the fold. Repeat this 1 more time to get the 3 pieces of the standing collar. Thus we have got 3 fabric pieces to make the standing collar for a uniform shirt. In this session, we have marked and cut fabric for making the standing collar for a uniform shirt. Before we conclude, let's take a look at the key steps involved in marking and cutting pattern of the standing collar for uniform shirt on fabric. They are: Step 1. Mark the pattern of standing collar on fabric. Step 2. Cut along the drafted lines to get the first piece of the standing collar. Step 3. Snip a little corner off at both sides of the fold. Step 4. Trace the pattern of the standing collar again, keeping the fold of the collar over the fold of the fabric. Step 5. Cut along the drafted lines to get the second standing collar. Step 6. Snip a little corner off at both sides of the fold of the second piece. Step 7. Repeat the same for making the third piece of the standing collar. With that, we've come to the end of this session.